Hey everybody, it's Kelly Cooper and welcome to another Facebook Live video. Today I want to talk about inspired action. Action is a great source of anxiety for people once they get into the whole law of attraction, conscious creation thing. Because you start learning it's your energy that creates your reality, is the true level of cause, and action is the level of effect. It's just a manifestation of energy. Right? There's something prompting your actions, a belief, a thought, a feeling, a perspective, something, right, makes us do all the things we do. Our belief system informs our entire human experience, right? Everything is, again, it's coming from something internally. And you hear a lot about inspired action. And inspired action is that like action that's like coming from that place of alignment. It feels good, light, right, easy, fun. And we have this idea, right, of inspired action. Hi, Kathy, how are you? Hope you enjoy the video. We take this action and then this wonderful thing happens, right? And sometimes that inspired action, it's that really great feeling. You get lost in it, you're in the zone, you're in the flow, all this stuff, right? But a lot of times, inspired action is not comfortable action. Most of the time, inspired action probably won't be comfortable action because it's probably this inspiration is calling on us to do things that feel uncomfortable in some way, putting ourselves out there in some way, having to learn a new skill, opening ourselves up to a larger audience, right, for your business or something like that. But you just know this is something I need to do. Because what happens again, right, we think of inspired action as like 1000% positive, warm, fuzzy feelings. And then any sort of hint of like ick, we're like, oh yeah, then it must not be a good thing because I feel a little uncomfortable. But there's it's that discomfort is normal for a lot of us, and a lot of the time, again, there might be that discomfort there, but that's not the same thing as taking an action that you think you should take but feels badly. There's a difference between the two. And again, a lot of times inspired action, there will be some discomfort there. But again, on some level, if you're honest with yourself, you know that that discomfort is not, no, this is not an aligned action. I shouldn't do this. It's more like, I probably should do this. I'm feeling pulled to do this thing, but I just feel uncomfortable. My human mind is like getting in the way, and there's fears and all this discomfort, and then it tries to convince you not to take it, right? So only you can know if that discomfort is, I got to suck it up and do this thing anyway. I know there's something here for me. If I take this action, this is something that would probably be good for my business. It would be good for my health, or this thing or that thing. Or again, no, this is just not an aligned action. So again, a lot of inspired action, there's going to be that tinge of discomfort there. It's not going to feel totally like, oh my God, this action feels so inspired and it feels so amazing, and every second I'm engaged in this action just feels like wonderful and I'm lost in it. These videos are a good example for me. There were certain points in the past where I started doing the videos, but I didn't really like social media. I didn't feel comfortable doing them. And I would do a couple and then I just would stop doing them. And I did this maybe a handful of times. I'd be like, yeah, I'll start doing videos. This is uncomfortable. What if people don't like how I sound, how I look? Oh, hi, Letty. Yes, you know, it's, you start to see like the theory and reality of manifesting it. This is a good example. We think of inspired action in a way that sometimes that's what it is. But again, it's a lot of times there's this other stuff there that we don't anticipate. And then we kind of miss the signposts of like, yeah, this, if I do this thing, it's probably a good idea, right? So these videos, but I felt inspired to start doing them. I really enjoy doing them. I get a lot of good feedback on them. I like interacting with people when they're watching them live. People say that they help them. So again, it wasn't comfortable. And my mind could have been like, well, it doesn't feel good because, you know, you don't really like social media, and, you know, you don't have to do videos and all this stuff, right? But again, I knew that wasn't what was happening. I wasn't trying to take an action that I thought I had to do, but I didn't want to do. The inspiration was there to put myself out there more, to start talking more about my stuff and my work and my services, all that stuff, right? Another example for me was this call series that I'm doing recently. I felt inspired to make a pay what you choose model. Why? I felt that's what I felt I wanted to do. I wanted everyone to be able to sign up, and I didn't want to make a set price that would keep people from signing up if they didn't have the money. Now, what does the mind do? How are you going to make money if you're going to let people pay and pay what you choose, like literally what you choose? You could pay, people could pay nothing if they wanted to, and there were some people that did, and I knew that was going to happen, and I was fine with it. Guess what? I made more money off of this call series than I've ever made on the other ones I've done, and I've done several. The mind wouldn't think that, because it's like if you're going to give people the option to pay whatever they want, people will pay nothing. They'll pay like $2. And yeah, there were some people that paid nothing. There were some people that paid $5. There were some people that paid what I normally charge and everything in between. And again, I made more money doing that, again, and the inspiration, and I followed it even though it felt uncomfortable. For some reason, I felt like that's what I wanted to. I'm like, my mind, my spirit was being like, just charge whatever, don't, who cares how much money you make, just let people pay. And again, I made more money than I ever made. The large majority of people paid at least something. The people that paid zero were a very small portion of people. So I made more money than I ever made, and had more people sign up than I ever had sign up, right? And again, to the mind, it didn't feel comfortable, especially with money, right? The mind is like, but you can't give people that option and they'll pay nothing. Yeah, and again, some people did pay nothing. And if they truly couldn't afford it, that's fine. Some people might have been like, hey, cool, I don't have to pay for it. Cool, I don't want to pay any money. Whatever it was, right? But again, it's fine, right? So again, a lot of times inspired action, it's not going to be comfortable action. Money is a really good example with this, especially if like you own your own business. Right, we think about manifesting, we want to manifest more money, right? So we think about money and all of this stuff, right? And we envision this money magically coming to us from like all these unexpected sources, like the unexpected refund from the taxes, and inheritance from the long lost uncle, all these things, right? Some opportunity to make money that's normally not how you make money or whatever, right? Something you normally do for free, someone off, right? All these things, right? And that's a way that money can come. It can come through infinite channels. But a lot of times what happens, especially with business, right? You might be feeling inspired to start create a new product, or offer a new service, or do a class or something, right? And that's a nudge of like, that's the way to make money. So the inspired action, now action's not necessary. No action is necessary to make money or get anything else. But that inspiration is coming from somewhere that's like, hey, if you do this thing, you might get the money you're looking for. So again, action's not necessary, but a lot of times our action will play a role in our manifestations. And if we're taking good feeling action, that's not a problem. We're not going to have to work hard. We'll enjoy the action. So especially with your business, if you're feeling like, if you're especially you're wanting to attract more money to your business, yeah, you might get a new client out of nowhere when you haven't had one for a while, or you'll sell a product or already an existing channel, or again, it might come from some other channel that you don't expect. But if you're feeling inspired to do something that could give you money, that might be where the money will come from. So do the thing that you're feeling inspired to do, whether it's offer the new service or change, whatever, right? So you have to realize that while action's not necessary, a lot of times aligning with what we want, part of the process we'll be participating in the process in some way through these inspired actions. And then if we're never taking the inspired actions, we're closing off these potential channels of receiving. Because again, there's that nudge from like big U universe, however you want to look at it, that's like, yeah, maybe the money will come this way. Maybe the thing will come this way if you start doing this thing. So you take the inspired action. And again, it's not that the action created the result, but the action taking from that inspired space, you're in the flow, you're in alignment with what you want, you're moving towards it in an energetically friendly way. But again, a lot of these actions, they might not be comfortable. And you have to recognize when you're choosing not to take an inspired action that might benefit you because of the discomfort. Because again, most of the time, a lot of inspired action, most of it probably for the average person is probably going to be something uncomfortable. So doing Facebook videos for your business, putting your updates more on your personal Facebook page, worrying about what the friends from high school or some other group of people that in real life that you don't even talk to anymore, what are they going to think of me? Doing this thing or that thing. Inspired, maybe you're feeling inspired to do online dating. You think it might be good to put yourself out there more. But most of the time, a lot of these things are probably going to feel uncomfortable. But if you don't do them, again, it's not that the lack of action is directly going to hinder your manifestations, but when you're not taking these inspired actions, you're getting out of the flow of the manifesting process perhaps. Because again, these inspired actions are nudging you towards things that will help you get to where you want to be. But then if you keep saying, well, I don't want to do it because it's uncomfortable, and then you're like for example, the business again, you keep feeling inspired to do certain things that could potentially lead to money. but you're not doing those things out of fear or criticism or this thing or that thing. I don't want to learn this new skill, or it's too much work or whatever, right? It's too uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. And then you're still waiting for the money to come through some other channel. And again, it could come through some other channel, but you keep getting a nudge to do this certain thing. And that's a sign of like, yeah, you'll probably get money through this if you do it. This is one of the ways you can get this money you're trying to manifest. So just fucking do it already, right? So if you're feeling this inspiration to do things, do them. But the key is do your best to detach, because the inspired action, when it feels good in a perfect world, the good feeling we get from the inspired action is its own reward. But as a human, right, we have an expectation, we're future oriented, we're doing this thing in the present moment to get something in what we think of as a future, right? That the mind's always going to do that. But so when you're taking these actions, do your best to detach from any result or outcome. If the action feels good, let that be its own reward. Like, for example, right, when I did the new call series, which is still open for registration, by the way, if you want to sign up, I just kept it open, and you can just get access to the 2 classes that have already happened. But anyway, right, there was a part of me that was like, I felt inspired to offer the pay what you choose pricing, right? The result was I made more money than I had ever made. But I could have not made money. Every single person could have decided that they didn't want to pay or send me like $2 and I made like $20, right? So I ended up getting the result my mind was perhaps anticipating on. But if I didn't get that result, that would have been okay too. And the joy of doing the class and allowing people to participate without worrying about money and then getting this helpful information that they felt they needed or wanted, obviously, if they signed up and they were interested in it, that would be its own reward. So, you know, these inspired actions, will you get some sort of result from them eventually? Yeah, probably. But just do your best to detach. And if you take the inspired action and then something bad happens that your mind doesn't like, note the feedback. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Don't freak out. Well, did I do something wrong or shouldn't it? Right? Just so that's another thing too with inspired action. You know, do your best to just detach from any results you think you might get from taking these actions. Let the good feeling you're getting be its own reward, knowing that whatever you're trying to manifest, whatever ego mind want you're trying to manifest, the relationship, the boyfriend, the money, whatever, just know that it will come. And again, just try not to get too attached to like, oh, I'm taking this action, like tit for tat kind of thing. Like, okay, I'm taking this action. Where's my result? Where's my stuff? Because that's kind of what the mind does. Sometimes you might feel inspired to take an inspired action that feels really good and you get a result that's bad. And you're going to be like, well, what went wrong? Nothing went wrong. You might have felt inspired to take the action to get that specific result, to show you something you needed to see in your energy. I remember a good example of this in my own life, in my business, like many years ago when I first started coaching. I wasn't like, you know, people weren't like beating down my door to sign, you know what I mean? It was a process like any other business, right? And I didn't have a lot of, you know, I had money and business, I had limiting beliefs and things to work through around money and business and all that stuff, right? So I remember at one point I felt inspired to offer a group coaching call. And I charged, I don't remember why I charged whatever for it, right? And it felt really good. And I'm like, oh my God, this is such a good idea. And then maybe people that, you know, want to talk to me, but they don't want personal coaching or they can't, right? I just thought it was this good idea. And like barely anybody signed up for it. And I'm like, oh my God, what happened? Like it felt so, right? Because again, we have this idea of like, I took this inspired action. Where's this good result I'm looking for? But I got a bad result, right? According to my mind. And I realized that why I felt inspired to take that action, because that action led me to see energy within me that was very, very important for me to see if I wanted to have a successful business, especially offering a higher end service like private, like personal coaching, right? I realized that my main motivator at the time, deeper, even though I wasn't aware of it, because on the surface, right, it felt good. My main motivator for doing that was, people can't afford private coaching. I need to find another way to make money. I need to find another cheaper service to offer. I need money now. I don't like how my financial situation is right now. I need to do something that will try to get me money right away, that I can take care of my immediate financial needs, right? So you see, like, even though the inspired action didn't turn out like the mind wanted it to, there was a reason I felt so inspired to do it, because it brought me to a situation that brought up stuff that, again, was very necessary and helpful for me to see if I wanted to make more money and have a successful business. because it's hard to have a successful business if you think people can't afford your services, or you're worried about money, or you're worrying that you're charging too much, and all of these things, right? It's hard to build, all that weird money stuff. That's not ideal, right, for making money consistently, especially again if you have a higher end service or product that you charge a higher, or what people perceive to be as expensive, the average person. So yeah. So take these actions, let the enjoyment be its reward as best you can. Try to just be in the moment of taking the action, whether it's creating the product. Hi, Lori, how are you? I hope you're enjoying the video. Whatever it is, right? Again, human us is like, oh, who cares about that? I just want, right? All human us cares about is the result, the future, the outcome. That just is what it is. But again, the more you can just be in the moment and enjoy these actions for the sake of enjoying them, because it's like, it's fun for me to do this video. I like doing my classes. I like making my all these things, right? Yeah, is there a part of me that's like, yeah, I have this intention of getting clients or people buying my products, making money? Yeah, sure, of course. I'm not doing it as a hobby. I charge money for these things. But in the energy of making it all about an outcome from an energetic perspective, you see, it's a problem, right? When everything's about, well, let me get this thing I don't have. Because LOA 101, it just means you're focused on what you don't have. And your mind can fight for your attachment, and you're manipulating and doing stuff for a result all day long, but it doesn't change that energetically. It's a problem, right? So yeah, inspired action, not always comfortable action. In fact, most times it's probably not going to be, especially when it comes to something like business and money and things like that. So yeah, are there things right now that you keep coming back to that you feel inspired to do? You're feeling inspired, I kind of want to do Facebook videos or YouTube videos for my business, or I'm thinking about creating this product or this new class or this thing or that thing. I'm thinking about offering this new service or whatever it is. Just do it. Start doing it, and the discomfort won't kill you. If you can get comfortable with your uncomfortable feelings, you're unstoppable. Because think about it. What's the only thing that holds us back from doing all these things and making all these changes? We don't like how it feels. So we're like, our mind's like, ooh, gross. I don't like how this feels, so I'm not going to do it. And and to our mind, this discomfort it feels like it's too hard or too uncomfortable. To our mind, it's a very valid reason not to do things, and we fight for this. We do it all the time. I do it. You all do this, right? That alone, that discomfort, it's too hard. I don't like how it feels, so I get to not do it. And to your mind, that's a perfectly valid reason not to do things that would probably be very beneficial for us to do. So if you get comfortable with that discomfort, nothing will stop you, because that's the only thing that stops us, is we don't like how it feels, so then we stop doing it. So yeah, that's it, guys. I'm gonna go. Like I said, the call series Wanting Without Needing, it's still open for registration. So if you go to livelifemadetorder.com, you can sign up, and I'll put the link in the description here. And yeah, that's it, guys. So have a great day or night, and happy manifesting.